Hi, welcome to Reacts with Jax. I'm Jax, and today I'm reacting to Oppenheimer. This movie is supposed to be amazing, and I'm really looking forward to this. We've seen Christopher Nolan and Cillian Murphy pair up together before when we watched the Dark Knight trilogy together. They were amazing. Christopher Nolan's a phenomenal director, and Cillian Murphy is an amazing actor. I have been a big fan of his body of work for a while. I'm looking forward to this. It has an amazing cast. I love Florence Pugh. I love Emily Blunt, and of course, on this channel, we always support the Marvel actors. We got Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. in this movie. I am so thrilled to see him portray a completely different character. This should be a lot of fun. So let's just jump right into this. Make sure you subscribe, ring that bell notification so you don't miss my next upload. Like this video if you enjoyed this content, and let's get started. Oh my god, that's a terrible fate.
Members of the security board, the so-called derogatory information in your...
This is for his accusation against communism.
Honestly, I forget. The whole hearing took a month.
An ordeal.
Well, I've only read the transcripts.
I didn't even recognize him at first.
No senator can deny you did your duty. Who'd want to justify their whole life?
Seriously.
I thought Berkeley had the leading theoretical physics department.
Yes, once I had built it.
Were you happier there than in America?
Happier.
Yes.
Just play their little game and answer no.
Completely spilled.
All right. Let's go.
All these physicists
Oh, no, you, Oppenheimer.
losing track of time. Oh, this is the apple! Don't you do it. I don't know much about Oppenheimer. I know a little. And I know he was accused of trying to poison his professor with a poisoned apple. He did it, and then he took the apple back. This is... I just realized he's the villain in Snow White. Oh, now you regret trying to murder somebody? It's probably good.
I heard you give the same
At
lecture.
Harvard, yes, and you ask the same question.
Oh my god.
Get to Germany, study under Max Born, learn the ways of theory. I'll send word.
You can't kill Gilderoy Lockhart. Okay.
Can you hear the music, Robert?
Yes, I can.
Was he not at all concerned that someone just grabbed an apple that he was about to eat and threw it in the trash? If somebody did that to my food, I'd be like, hey, hey, hey now. I was eating that. And I think they're doing a really good job of showing why he's a little bit of a weirdo. Because Oppenheimer was a strange man. And I like all these cuts back and forth to where it's like he can't really focus on one thing, like he keeps spacing out to something else.
I was determined to get him to run the institute.
I think he's doing such a great job. He's changed so much about himself. The way he talks, the sound of his voice.
You're a physicist by training, Mr. Strauss?
I'm sorry, common room, 4 o'clock tea. No, I'm not trained.
I would love tea.
I'm told he's there most afternoons.
Is that Einstein?
Wondered why you didn't involve him in the Manhattan Project. Greatest scientific mind of our time.
I didn't think he was allowed to be on the Manhattan Project.
I'd love to introduce you.
No need. I've known him for years.
You are the man for the job.
Well, then I'll consider it. I'll see you at the AC meeting tomorrow.
That must be so weird. You meet one of the greatest minds and they kind of treat you like that.
The most prestigious appointments in the country.
Yes, with a great commute.
With a great commute.
De botsing tussen en alfadeltje en atom. Vangen voor een verschillende energie in de verbinding is opname.
Didn't he learn Dutch in just a few weeks just to give this lecture? He's like a real-life Sheldon Cooper.
I'm Robbie.
Oppenheimer.
I caught your lecture on molecules. Caught some of it. You learned enough Dutch in 6 weeks to get a lecture on quantum mechanics. Wasn't challenging enough, Schwitzer. Show off. This is German you have to seek out.
Heisenberg.
Right.
Did you ever encounter Heisenberg again?
Not in person. You might say our paths crossed.
Yeah, you could say that.
I must have missed the...
Mr. Lomnitz?
Nah. Yeah.
He's got one student?
Ah.
Oh, hello.
Why would they have started a file on Dr. Oppenheimer before the war? Well, you have to ask. I'm asking you, Admiral Strauss.
Hoover. Ugh.
Frank.
You remember Jackie?
Hello. I always love seeing another Jacqueline.
And this is...
Still Jackie.
Hello, still Jackie. Do it through the Communist Party. They can get it to the front lines.
Harry's serving with these. I'm Jean.
Hello.
Oh, I've read Das Kapital, all 3 volumes. Does that count?
It would make you better read than most party members.
Ownership is theft.
Property, not ownership.
I'm sorry, I read it in the original German.
Oh my god.
I like my wiggle room too.
Is this at that party?
Read the words.
And now I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
It is so amazing how different this character is than any other character he's ever played.
I didn't expect to see you today.
Oh, she's frosty.
Alvarez?
Okay, she does not like him very much.
I don't understand what you want from
I
me.
don't want anything from you.
Well, you say that and then you call.
You call? Well,
I'll
you're
always
very
answer.
hot and cold. Oh, that's sweet, even though he's cheating on his wife. I'll clap too.
Richard, Dr. Bush, what brings you two up north? Richard, you tell Ruth I'll be down to Pasadena.
That's the guy who was in the Dark Knight trilogy. Didn't he play Papa in Stranger Things?
Oh, Harlan, our paper, it's in print.
You've been upstaged.
What? Oh.
Forces of attraction strong enough to convince us that matter is solid. Stop my body passing through yours.
He's so flirty.
His previous husband had died in 28. He wasn't really ready to be a widow.
It was your first husband?
Nobody. Second husband was Joe Dallatt.
So she's had quite a few husbands.
I didn't want you to hear it from anyone else.
Oh.
At least you didn't bring me flowers.
I thought he was already married when he started having an affair with her. They keep jumping around timeline-wise in this movie.
They won't even let me tell you what the project is.
Oh, I know what the project is.
Can I know what the project is?
You think that I tell them about your politics.
Do I really care what I do?
You're not just self-important, you're actually important.
Yeah.
Communist associations, not seen as a security risk during the war.
Senator, I can't possibly answer.
Fine. What about after?
Yeah.
I think they just want to know what happened between 1947 and 1954 to change your mind on Oppenheimer's security clearance.
The project. I'm in.
Let's celebrate.
Oh, she's already been celebrating.
Take Peter.
Sure.
No, for a while. We're awful people. Selfish, awful people.
Wow.
Awful people, they don't know. They're selfish and awful. Sit, sit, sit.
That is so true.
You see beyond the world we live in. There is a price to be paid for that. Of course, we'll help you.
That would be a lot. If somebody showed up at your house in the middle of the night and said, "Can you just start raising my kid?"
Who are the uniforms?
I thought you might know.
I like that guy.
I'm Colonel Groves. This is Lieutenant Colonel Nichols. Have that dry cleaned.
Well, hello, Goodwill Hunting. Matt Damon, that's his name. Why did I remember his name in Goodwill Hunting before I remembered his actual name?
Treat a humble physicist.
If I ever meet one, I'll let you know. 1,200 tons. Bought the day I took charge.
Processing?
Just broke ground at Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Now I'm looking for a project.
This man is effective. He is a man of action.
Why aren't you a general?
They're making me one for this.
Perhaps I'll have the same luck.
Nobel Prize for making a bomb.
Alfred Nobel invented dynamite.
Oh.
My job to say no to you when you're wrong.
So you have the job now?
I'm considering it. Secret laboratory in the middle of nowhere, secure, self-sufficient, equipment, housing, the works. Keep everyone there until it's done.
I love that the monologue continued.
You want security, build a town, build it fast. Where?
Even though the scene changed, you know, I love that.
Could you give us a moment?
That would be really tough to recruit people for a project you can't even tell them anything about.
It's about unleashing a strong force before the Nazis do.
Oh my God.
Was that guy from Nickelodeon?
How about because this is the most important thing that ever happened in the history of the world?
It's just the casual smile.
The country needs us.
Hop, guys. They say the building's...
I can't even imagine the pressure on all these people's shoulders and how that would impact you on top of already having a difficult time in life because you're so much of a genius.
Who's running theoretical?
I am?
That's what I was afraid of.
So you take theoretical.
I'm not coming here, Robert.
You already are here, and I like you.
The second thing you have to do is appoint Hans Better.
What was the first?
Take off that ridiculous uniform.
They're portraying Oppenheimer's personality so different than I thought. I knew some little things about Oppenheimer here and there, but I didn't really know much about his personality, and I'm assuming that they're playing it close to how he was perceived. He's so much calmer than I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be like a total hothead. And he has some really strong friendships, which is nice to see, considering how much mistrust there was at this time within the Communist Party. And
Edward, can I? Please.
It's more important.
it's more important than you, Oppenheimer.
Show me how you did your calculations.
Yes.
Can you run the calculations yourself?
About the only thing you and I have in common is a disdain for mathematics.
I agree, math sucks. It's the worst subject in school.
The truth is catastrophic.
Then you
At least
stop,
I'm in good company.
and you share your findings with the Nazis.
Einstein and Oppie agree.
The chances of an uncontrolled nuclear reaction are near zero.
Near zero.
Oh, this is good news.
Near zero. That's not comforting.
We wanted to see you before we left.
You know who I ran into the other day?
They barely hugged their kid.
Government's not sharing any research with the Russians. Anyone had anything they wanted to pass on,
that would be treason.
I just thought you should know.
Well, now you know.
The brat is down.
Gosh, the way she talks about her kid. Is their kid still living with these people? I assumed that he was.
This is a cabinet post, Admiral. We seek a wide range of opinion.
Well, I'd like to know the name of the scientist testifying. I'd like the chance to cross-examine.
I would like to know his name too. Oh, so they have their son now.
All it needs is a saloon.
And he's not in a car seat or anything. Oh, times have changed so much.
There's no kitchen.
Really? We'll fix that.
He's so calm regardless of what happens.
The bomb will need a... Gadget will need a 33-pound sphere about this size.
He doesn't want to call it a bomb?
Are we boring you, Edward?
A little bit, yes.
To disagree on a great many things. Well, one of them was the need for an H-bomb program.
I wonder how long he's been sitting there, because he looked so bored.
We cut down on staff, keep families together. Are these women qualified?
Are these women qualified?
To type?
May not be your fault, but it's your problem, because I'm going.
And how many people were in these, open?
He's the top dog and he doesn't even have his security clearance?
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Sillard. We really need that in the notes. Condon, put Mrs. Sornig here on the plutonium team.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool. She just got a job on the team.
Generalissimo, I quit.
Are you allowed to quit? Can he just walk away with all that information?
Aren't you more concerned about his discretion out there?
That's what I
We'll have him
just
killed.
said. Oh.
You didn't hire me despite my left-wing past. You hired me because of it.
Oh.
So you could control me.
Oh.
I'm just a humble soldier.
No, you are so not.
Would you clear Dr. Oppenheimer today? Do you have the
Oh.
guidelines?
Yeah. Buy yourself some time, read those guidelines. That's a lot. I would need time to read it.
We've all read his file here. Do we need to talk about Jean Tatlock? Or the Chevalier incident?
I would love it if we could talk about that. Please catch me up.
Your Q clearance came through. It's important you not maintain or renew any questionable associations.
A Q clearance? Never even heard of that. Apparently my clearance level is not high enough to know about it.
I've had a lot of secrets in my head for a long time.
You brought flowers when she specifically told you not to? Why is she always so mad? Don't they like each other? Their relationship is so confusing.
Jean Tatlock in 1943.
You left. Not a word.
Oh, that's why she's mad.
Where did you go?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
Because you're a communist.
All I can think about is who's going to get that room after them and sit in those chairs. They don't clean those chairs. They don't have time.
Spent the night together, didn't you?
Yes.
The eye contact. Oh my god.
You said you would always answer.
Yeah, you did.
Day after day, letting them pick our lives to pieces. Why won't you fight?
That was such a good scene. The directing, when he was suddenly wearing no clothes. This man is just getting picked apart.
As regards the union, I wanted to give you a heads up on a man named Eltonton.
A heads up.
Yes.
My chair is squeaky.
When Pash first heard about Lomanitz, he told the FBI he was going to kidnap him, take him out on a boat, and interrogate him in the Russian manner.
Results of surveillance conducted on subject indicate further possible Communist Party connection. General Groves has placed on me a certain responsibility.
It is a Good Will Hunting reunion.
Such information wouldn't be admissible in court. Pash made it clear he had no intention of leaving any witness left to prosecute.
Oh.
So Eltonton made his approach through a member of the faculty here at Berkeley.
As far as I know.
Mm-hmm. This is so nerve-wracking. They're doing this so well. Oh my.
I felt my time would be better spent in Europe determining the status of the Nazi bomb project. General Groves, he transferred me to London.
Early Christmas present for you all.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Is it big enough
to end the war?
To end all war?
Wow.
Could you give us a moment, gentlemen?
Uh-oh. Oh, and his little party hat.
Why did you come?
Talk about after. The power you're about to reveal will forever outlive the Nazis.
Your father called. They found her yesterday in the bath.
Oh.
I'm not quitting my job because plutonium is radioactive. We just don't know what it might do to the female reproductive system.
That is a serious concern. What is all of this stuff going to do to the reproductive system?
They won't let me leave.
It's still a concern today with things. Well, yeah, you're not allowed to.
Now raise this fucking barrier.
You could have gone under it.
I'm just not sure you want to go down this road. With respect, we are the advisory committee. We will give them our advice.
Just so that I'm following along, it turned to color because we've caught up with the timeline, right?
Don't listen to a prophet. A prophet can't be wrong. Not once.
Did you accuse?
Wow.
When the world learns the terrible secret of Los Alamos, our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen.
Looks like the prophet might be wrong.
80 babies delivered the first year. This year we've had 10 a month.
Birth control is a little out of my jurisdiction, General.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Head down.
Everybody, folks.
Okay.
Head down.
Get under a desk. It'll keep you alive in the event that the bomb goes off.
July. Pest in July. I need my brother.
He needs his bro.
Everybody ready?
Get ready. That guy looks.
You're a long way from Chicago, Leo.
If we don't act now, they're going to use this thing against Japan. We booked a meeting with Truman, but somebody...
I predict they will use it in Japan.
Doesn't mean we get to decide how it's used.
History will judge us, Robert. In Chicago, we put together a petition.
I'm not getting into that.
Him and his pens. He really just loves pens.
I've taken Kyoto off the list due to its cultural significance to the Japanese people. Also, my wife and I honeymooned there.
This is so weird that they're talking about which city they're going to bomb and how the people are going to be killed and whether or not they get advance notice. My goodness.
But as soon as it's practical, we should sever any such scientist from the program. Wouldn't you agree, Doctor?
If a Russian
Whoa.
Don't let them slow us down. We're firing on the 15th.
The 15th? That's the 15th.
15th.
15th. Write it down. The soundtrack in this is pretty great. It's uncomfortable, which feels intentional.
What's with the radiation cloud?
Without hot.
Like holding my breath.
Good touch. Do it. Is there anything else that might stop us?
A little bit of rain, flock of sheep passing by. Oh, another martini.
I'll send a message. If it's gone our way, take in the sheets.
Robert.
If it doesn't go your way, you don't need to bring the sheets in? What does the laundry have to do with the bomb going off?
Think it might be time to tell your men to get away from the steel tower with the atomic bomb?
That would be a good idea, if you want them to live.
You could be right, but schedule as late as possible. 5:30. Sign your forecast. If you're wrong, I'll hang you. Tell them all.
3 years, 4,000 people, $2 billion.
2 billion?
Over 3 years supports that conclusion, except it's the most remote possibility.
How remote?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
Near zero.
In exactly 1 hour, 58 minutes, we'll know.
I loved that scene. That was one of my favorite interactions of theirs.
20 minutes.
There's no way to clear all the little animals out, though.
On the leg, please.
Fine. Now, the glass.
Feynman?
The glass.
I love Feynman.
Robert, try not to blow up the world.
Well, that should have probably come at the beginning of this movie.
Is it Vadim?
Yeah.
Yeah. You look great. You are fully prepared to survive this bomb. Is that Josh Hartnett, the actor? He looks so familiar and yet so different. I think that is Josh Hartnett, but I don't know.
Didn't need a charge.
I do not have goggles or glasses. I am ill prepared for this. Well, you did it.
And now I am become death.
This looks incredible. Yeah. Guess you're getting that promotion. That's such an odd thing to cheer about. I understand why they're happy their work has amounted to something and they haven't failed. But it's just such a destructive thing. Were those
Only $10.
were those bongos?
Come on. Hey, I'm good for.
Did I see that right?
You on?
Those are bongos.
Message to Kitty. You can't say anything. Tell her to take in the sheets.
Oh my god, it was a code word. You know how pro code word I am. And I didn't even... That's a beautiful shot, by the way. That has to be my favorite shot of the movie so far. That was amazing. I completely missed the code word. Gosh.
Charlotte, go ahead. Go ahead. I just said to tell you to bring in the sheets.
That's why you need code words.
If they detonated too high in the air, the blast won't be as powerful.
It's back, Dr. Oppenheimer. We'll take it from here.
Oh. Wow. You go from being so respected and so powerful.
Should I come with you to Washington? Well, you'll keep me informed.
Of course.
Oh.
As best I can.
Oh, they used to need you.
Once it's used, nuclear war, perhaps all war, becomes unthinkable.
Until somebody builds a bigger one.
Or zombies. They're always a possibility. And then that will be like the worst war.
Thought they would call.
It's only the 5th.
In Japan, it's the 6th.
Oh, my goodness.
15 hours ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima.
16 hours ago? Oh, this was what that scene was referring to. Wow. Gotta have that alcohol.
It's too soon to determine what the results of the bombing are, but I'll bet the Japanese didn't like it.
No, I don't think they did. I love how they filmed this. It's hard not to think about. Ooh, the people. Yep.
Your invention let us bring our boys home.
My invention.
It was. You on the cover of Time.
Oh my god. That globe. I love globes.
Well,
That's a big globe. I've never seen a globe that big.
Mr. President.
Is that Gary Oldman?
Blood on my hands.
It so is. That's so his face. It's Gary Oldman. Oh my gosh. This is a Dark Knight trilogy reunion. You know what I'm trying to say. Reunion.
You think anyone in Hiroshima gives a shit who built the bomb?
Probably not.
Don't let that crybaby back in here.
Wow. Well, hello to you too.
The British scientist that you put onto the implosion team at Los Alamos, he was spying for the Soviets the whole time.
I knew there was a spy, but I didn't know which one it was.
He knew. His phone was tapped. He was followed everywhere. There's trash picked through.
Oh, that's so invasive.
The United States of America now, in front of the entire country, want to put me back in my place. A lowly shoe salesman.
Oh.
Which physicist?
I think you knew him.
Patrick Blackett.
The Apple Man.
Sorry, Admiral. Stopped off to get this. Seems pretty...
Well, look at you.
Survival in Washington. About knowing how to get things done.
Right.
I shake my head as if I know.
In front of Congress.
But more useful than a sandwich.
Wow.
Maybe a little too well, Robert.
That was 6 years ago.
You know, the truly vindictive, patient as saints.
Neutral?
Wake up! It is Strauss. It's always...
Trust your instincts.
We need a systematic destruction of Oppenheimer's credibility so he can never again speak on matters of national security.
Wow.
Rob will have security clearance and Oppenheimer's file. As will the Great Board, defense counsel will not.
Counsel will not?
If you do decide to appeal, they'll have to send you a copy. Take my
Wow.
car and driver, I insist.
This movie is incredible.
Nobody told your client to misrepresent his former answers.
It was 12 years ago. Can we hear this recording?
You don't have the clearance, Mr.
Can't he bring a reporter in here to start publicizing this unfair trial?
They've asked Lawrence. He wasn't going to help them. Strauss told him that you and Ruth Tolman have been having an affair for years. He convinced Lawrence that Richard died of a broken heart.
That's absurd.
What's the heart?
A broken heart?
Oh my gosh. He just sleeps with all the women.
Eat.
I love that this is the second time he's offering him food. Isn't that Josh Hartnett? Maybe it's not, but he certainly looks like him.
But I've known Secretary Strauss for many years, and I feel it a necessity.
I'm starting to get the impression that the black and white is from Strauss's perspective. Strauss's perspective.
We do know that Dr. Hill will be here after lunch.
Mr. Chairman, our next scheduled witness, Dr. Lawrence.
Yeah, the color is from... Black and white is from Strauss's perspective. The color is from Oppenheimer's perspective, right? At first I thought it was a time differential, but now I think it's perspective.
We on the board have all read the letter. Wouldn't it be better to have it in the record? Let's proceed.
Doesn't that man always play a villain?
Is anyone ever going to tell the truth about what's happening here?
Christopher Nolan is. Wow.
Dr. Hill, would you care to make a statement?
The pen guy finally gets to speak. Are you going to talk about pens?
Most of the scientists in this country would prefer to see Mr. Strauss completely out of government.
Oh, Lammy, it's getting good.
Oppenheimer matter was initiated and carried through largely through the animus of Louis Strauss.
Ha 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 ha.
Do you even want her here?
Presumes to know someone else's relationship and no idea.
Oh, goodness.
Who was this?
Sorry?
Who was this?
Roger Robb.
Oh.
This is Oppenheimer.
Why did you get closer to her? Back away.
And I've believed this since I left the party 16 years ago.
But
17 years ago.
But you said...
Sorry, 18.
Did you know this money was going into Communist Party channels?
I think you mean through Communist Party channels, don't you?
Yes.
Yes?
Ooh. Oh, she has claws.
Intellectual communists and your plain old regular commie.
Well, I couldn't answer that one.
I couldn't either.
This is an amazing scene. She did amazing.
It's a kangaroo court with a predetermined outcome. Why put yourself through more of it?
I have my reasons.
What a great movie.
But I happen to love this country.
Then tell them to go to hell. Interestingly enough, no longer a confirmation hearing.
That was great.
You certainly can't prove that I gave the file, Borden.
We're not in court, sir. There's no burden of proof.
Right.
Oh, and the tables have turned. Or should I say, and the turntables.
Do it all over. Do it all the same. You know he's never once said that he regrets Hiroshima? He'd do it all.
Hiroshima.
When did your strong moral convictions develop with respect to the hydrogen bomb?
When it became clear to me we would tend to use any weapon we had.
Yeah.
Together with your somewhat disturbing conduct on the hydrogen bomb program and the regrettable act.
You mean him not wanting to create it?
Brother.
Don't take in the sheets.
Don't take in the sheets.
I'm on the same page now. We got code words.
Led by the junior senator from Massachusetts, young guy trying to make a name for himself, didn't like what you did to Oppenheimer.
None of us like what you did to Oppenheimer.
Kennedy. John F. Kennedy.
Oh my god.
You told me I'd be okay.
Yeah, well, I didn't have all the facts, did I?
No, you did not. we get to know what they're talking about.
We thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world.
I remember it well. What happened?
You did.
I believe we did.
Yeah. This movie is phenomenal, and I love it so much. It was almost difficult for me to talk throughout so much of it because there was so much dialogue and I didn't want to miss any of it. I loved it. I didn't really understand why they were telling the story out of order at first. You know, they kept changing the timeline. But once they gave the plot twist about Strauss, I completely got it. I knew that he had been against Oppenheimer, but I didn't know if they were changing it for the movie because they were really doing a misdirect. And I thought they did such a wonderful job on it. I can't say enough good things about this movie. I thought it was brilliant. From beginning, middle to end, I loved it. It was so artistic, too. I thought this was just epic. It definitely felt like an Oscar movie. I thought Cillian Murphy was incredible in this. I've never seen him play a character quite like this before, and it really did surprise me how calm Oppenheimer was throughout so many of the scenes. He had a lot of pressure on him, and he was able to handle so many things very well. I don't know if it was similar to how he was in real life or if this was just the film interpretation, but this was a character, it was very different than any other character I've seen before, and I thought that Cillian Murphy just played him really well. Emily Blunt, she was so good in this because her character was kind of a disaster throughout this film. You know, she was a heavy drinker, she was a bit emotional, a bit unstable, having a difficult time raising her kids. And don't get me wrong, she had a lot going on in her life, so I have so much sympathy for her character, but you see this messiness to her, and then she sits down to do the interview and she nails it. That scene might have been my favorite in the entire film. And it's hard to pick a favorite scene because so many of the scenes were awesome. But I think my two favorites were my three favorite scenes were probably when Matt Damon and Cillian Murphy were having that conversation where Oppenheimer was telling him, we could destroy the world. And he was like, what do you mean we could destroy the world? That I thought they had such great chemistry in that scene. I loved it. And then obviously when Emily Blunt was in the middle of her interrogation and the rapid dialogue, the way the editor just kept cutting back from one to the next, it was phenomenal. I mean, that was just such a well executed scene. And then my next favorite scene was probably the moment we find out that Robert Downey Jr.'s character Strauss is behind everything. So I knew a little bit about the history behind Oppenheimer and Strauss, but I wasn't quite sure if I remembered it correctly or if they were going in a different direction in the movie. So when it was all revealed that it was him, I had my mind blown. I mean, I felt like the guy that Strauss was talking to, and he was like, oh, you didn't give me all the facts. I guess I was a little naive. And I was like, I guess I was a little naive. And I've even read this stuff in history books before. So it was such a well-told story. And the moment that happened, the full context came into view, and I could see why they pieced together the film the way they did. The artistry behind this film was brilliant. I love the way that Oppenheimer was portrayed. Now, I'm not the biggest history buff on Oppenheimer, so if you are, please let me know how you think he was portrayed. Do you think this was a film that accurately represented the spirit of everything going on at this time and the spirit of all of these figures? From my understanding of Oppenheimer, I think they did a really good job of presenting him as somebody that was interested in the science, being right, and maybe, he had a little ego, but at the same time recognized the horrors of what he was creating. You need to capture the balance. You can't really make him a hero or a villain. He just is. And at the same time, he can very easily look like a hero or a villain depending on where you're standing. But I thought that this film I wouldn't say that it stayed neutral. I thought that it showed him in a very good light, but they did bring in the awareness that he was a part of something that, is still relevant today. And I loved the way that this movie ended. Oh my gosh. it was so full circle. Everything in this movie kept mirroring each other. The beginning conversation with Einstein that you don't get to know about till the end conversation. Originally, when Strauss was walking by Einstein and Einstein wasn't looking at him, I assumed that Einstein was thinking about a mathematical problem because I thought that he and Oppenheimer would have been talking about their work. So when Strauss made it all about him, I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to show us that there is a long history between Oppenheimer and Strauss not getting along. I just assumed that Strauss knew what he was talking about. I didn't question it. I should have questioned it. But that's not originally what I thought had happened. And so at the end, when they tell you, maybe it wasn't about you, maybe they were talking about something more important, which is such an ego punch to Strauss because he thinks he's so important. I mean, the dialogue was brilliant. And then it cuts to the scene. Oh, I loved it. I love that we get to end with Oppenheimer and Einstein talking, and that the very thing that they feared the most, which was the atomic bomb setting off a chain reaction that would destroy the world, he believes they did do that. That last line of dialogue was brilliant. I loved it. I can't say enough good things about this movie. It was so phenomenal. And, you know, it was definitely an Oscar film, very Oscar worthy. I hope you enjoyed watching this with me as much as I enjoyed watching it with you. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this film. I think it's amazing, and I'm so eager to know what you thought about it. Make sure to subscribe, ring that bell notification so you don't miss my next upload. Like this video if you enjoy this content. I hope you have the most amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.